بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة للمتقين ولا عدوان إلا على الظالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين وعلى أزواجه وذرياته وأهل بيته وصحبه أجمعين ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. رب يسر ولا تعسر وتمم بالخير يا فتاح وبك نستعين. ربي زدني علما ربي زدني علما ربي زدني علما. We have started talking about the third type of verb. First we talked about the past tense. Then we talked about the present future tense, and now we're talking about the last one, which is the command or the prohibition. The next week's lesson will be on the prohibition. So today we're talking about the command tense. Al-fi'l al-amr. Fi'l means tense or verb. And verb tense, and then amr means command. So basically, it's the command tense. Amr means to order, to command, to demand. So if you want to demand something or instruct somebody on something, then you will use this tense. We talked a little bit about how to form the words of amr last week. So how do you make al-fi'l al-amr? How do you form it? We started with the mukhatab, or the second person, because basically when you are giving a command, you're usually commanding or instructing or demanding something from a person who's in front of you. So the second person. So let's go into that a little bit again. So it's right over here. I made it in green, so we're learning that first. So first of all, what is this fi'l amr, al-fi'l al-amr? What is it made from? Is it made from madi or is it made from mudari? Is it made from the past tense or is it made from the present future tense? Present future tense. So it's right over here. If you look at it, this is the mudari, taf'alu. You are going to do, you are doing or you're going to do. So how do you form it? First you drop the alamatul mudari, the sign of mudari. The sign of mudari is the ta. Remember the word atayna? Alif, ta, ya or noon. So in this word, it's the ta. So you drop the ta. What are you left with? You're left with the fa with the sakin, and ayn with the fatha, and a lam with the dhamma. So no word in Arabic starts with a sakin. So you have to give it a letter. So you gave it an alif. This is called, or a hamza. This is called hamza al-wasl. Hamzatul wasl. So you put a alif in the beginning of it. So the alif does not have anything on it. So you have to figure out what to give the alif, because alif is also sakin. You can't start a word with a sakin or with nothing on it. So to figure out what you have to put, like a kasra or a fatha or a dhamma, you have to look at the third letter always, or the ayn kalima, the ayn kalima of the word, fa ayn lam. So if it's daraba, you look at the ra, the ayn kalima. If it's nasara, you look at the sad. You have to see what sign is on it. Is it a fatha? Is it a kasra? Or is it a dhamma? Now always remember that this al-fi'l al-amr, in what we have learned so far, it would only start with a kasra or a dhamma. It will never start with a fatha. If it starts with the fatha, then it resembles some other words. So we don't want any resemblance, we don't want any confusion. So it's either going to be a kasra here or it's going to be a dhamma here. So you have to look at the ayn kalima. If the ayn kalima has a fatha on it or a kasra on it, then you pull that kasra over to the alif and it'll become if'al, if'alu, or if'ilu. One of these. Okay? So in this word, because it's a fatha, so it will become if'al. And then the lam has the dhamma on it. The dhamma drops because of fi'l amr is majzoom. So the dhamma drops and it becomes a sakin. So it becomes if'al. Alright, so this is how to make the fi'l al-amr. Now in this word, the ayn kalima had a fatha on it. The example of an ayn kalima when it has a kasra on it is here.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm sorry to disturb. Anybody have a car downstairs?
In the garage.
In the garage? No.
Nobody?
Sorry.
Okay.
I'm coming back for the tea.
Inshallah. Okay, so tadribu has the ra has a kasra on it. So we do the same thing. First we drop the ta. We're left with a dad, a ra, and a ba. The dad has a sakin on it. So now you have to bring an alif or a hamza here. And then you look at the ayn kalima. Since it has a kasra, then you're going to bring the kasra back to the alif. So it becomes idribu. And then because al-fi'l amr is majzoom, the majzoom state of this word is with the sakin. So it becomes idrib. Alright? An example of when the ayn kalima will have a dhamma on it. Statrukina. So it's from the word taraka yatruku. Can anybody tell me what taraka yatruku means?
Stop, abandon, or stop or abandon.
To leave something. Good. Alright? To leave something. So if you're telling somebody, leave this. Leave it alone. Utruk. So this word is not tatruku, it's not the wahid mudakkar hadir, it's tatrukina. So what from here, what is it? Is it mudakkar ghaib, muannas ghaib, mudakkar hadir, muannas hadir, or mutakallim? What is this word? Tatrukina. Yeah. Say that again. Second person. Right here. Okay. So it's tatrukina. Good job. So tatrukina. Let's say the whole thing. It was tatruku, tatrukani, tatrukuna, tatrukina, tatrukani, tatrukna, atruku, natruku. So it was right up here. Okay. So wahid muannath hadir. It means you one lady is leaving or is going to leave it. Whatever they're going to leave, okay? So we drop the ta of mudari, so we're left with the second ta, which is the fa kalima. Ta, ra, and kaf are the fa, ain, lam kalima. So you're left with the ta with the sakin on it. So now you have to bring the alif, but the ain kalima had a dhamma, so the dhamma is going to be pulled over to the alif, so it'll become utrukina. And because this is al-fi'l al-amr, the ending it's majzoom. So how do you make it majzoom in tatrukina? You drop the noon and it becomes utruki. Just like lam would drop the noon and it would become lan tatruki. In the same manner, al-fi'l al-amr, when it comes, then it also drops the noon, so it becomes utruki. Alright, I'm going to just go through all these examples. Okay, so these were the examples of mudhakkar hadir and muannas hadir. So if'al, you one man do, If'ala, you two men do it. If'alu, all you men do it. If'ali, you one woman do it. If'ala, you two women do it. And if'alna, all you women do it. So basically you're talking to somebody. You're not going to be saying, you two men do it. You're just going to be talking to the men and you're going to say, do this. But since we want to make the full translation so it makes sense, I'm saying, you two men do it. Alright, so before we get into the other words, some more examples up here, let's do the other part of Amr also. Alright, so we explained last time, if you want to make the Mudhakkar Hadir or Mudhakkar Muannath Hadir, you have to bring this Hamza lil Amr. So you have to bring the Alif. But if you want to give an order to somebody who is third person, male, third person female, or two males or two females, or plural, what do you do? How do you form it? You bring this lam. What is this lam called? Lamul Amr. Lamul Amr. The lam for command. Okay? And this lam is always going to have a kasra on it. Because the lam with the fatha on it, it is for emphasis. Remember? The lam ta'keed. So it's going to be a lam with the kasra on it. And when I would translate this lam, I would always translate it with the word ought. So he ought to do this. He must do this. He ought to do it. He should do this. Does that make sense? Alright, so this is one example of when you bring the lam. So the word is nashrabu. We are drinking, we are going to drink. So it was mutakallim, jama. Alright, jama mutakallim. So how do you make this into an amr? For example, if you want to say that all of us must drink it. There's some zamzam and we want to say all of us must drink it. So how will we say we must or we should or we ought to drink it? So you bring, this will be fi'l al-amr, and you will bring a lam with a kasra on it. Let me make that kasra a little bit better. Alright. So, get on this side, make it easier. So, alright. So, linashrabu. We brought the lam al-amr. And so now we have the ba with the dhamma on it. So this ba, because it's amr, the dhamma will drop and it will become a sakin, so it will become li nashrab. Does that make sense? So from nashrabu, li nashrab. So all you did was just bring the lam and you made the ba into a sakin. That's it. Another example, this was the example of when the ra has a fatha on it, the ain kalima has a fatha on it. Let's say the ain kalima has a dhamma on it. So yansuruna. So yansuruna is jama mudhakkar ghaib. So yansuru, yansurani, yansuruna, tansuru, tansurani, yansurna. So yansuruna means we are helping, we're going to help. So how can we say in fi'l amr, we must help? All of us, no, all of those, I made it we, so it's all those men. All those men are helping, are going to help. So how can we say all those men ought to help, or they must help, they should help? We're going to bring a lam with a kasra on it, and then at the end the noon will drop because this is majzoom, so it will become li yansuru. All those men should help. I hope that makes sense. And we're going to go on. I think we were here last time. We had covered it till here. So now we have to do majhul, ma'ruf and majhul. Um, just like Mudari has a ma'ruf and a majhul, fi'l amr will also have a ma'ruf and a majhul. So it'll have a passive and it will have an active. Alright, so let me say it in Arabic. فيما سبق ذكرنا الفعل المضارع المؤكد بلام التأكيد والنون للتأكيد فإذا أردت أن تكون صيغ الأمر فاعلم أن الأمر يتكون من المضارع فالأمر الغائب من المضارع الغائب والمخاطب من المخاطب والمتكلم من المتكلم والمعروف من المعروف والمجهول من المجهول فإذا أردت أن تكون صيغ الأمر المخاطبة فاحذف علامة المضارع ثم انظر إلى العين فإن كانت مكسورة أو مفتوحة ائت بهمزة الوصل المكسورة في بداية الفعل واجزم آخره نحو اسمع من تسمع واضرب من تضرب وإن كانت العين مضمومة ائت بهمزة الوصل المضمومة في بداية الفعل واجزم آخره نحو انصر من تنصر. I'm pretty sure all of you understood that fully. No translation needed. So whatever I just said it in Arabic. All right. So let's go on. Alaykum assalam wa rahmatullah. All right, so if we look at this page again, page 46, then we can find out how from yaf'alu, how we got this word li yaf'al. Okay, yaf'alu, that one man will do, is going to do, is doing or is going to do, and then you added a lam in the beginning, and then you made the ending with zoom or with the sakin. So all of that I've written up there, it's on the table 9.1. So you can look at that and you don't really have to write down what's on the board, and I don't think anybody's writing down anyway, so it's okay. All right. Now let's get some different examples. All right. So I'm going to erase this, and I'm going to ask, because asking shows me how much people are understanding. All right. We're going to use the word to open. How do you say to open in Arabic? Fataha, yaftahu. Okay. So if I'm going to tell one person, male, open it, or open the door. If the, I shouldn't say, I already said it. All right. So how do you say door in Arabic? Bab, right? So open the door. How are we going to say it? So wahid mudhakkar hadir. I already said it, so I should know it now. No? How do you say it? Iftah. Okay? So iftah al-bab. So iftah. Alright. Alright, you two men, open the door. So what are we going to put here? If. And then what comes here now? Ha and a? Alif. Okay? So iftaha. So two men. Two men open the door. Both of you. Alright, all you men, open the door. Iftahu. Alright? Alright, this is alif here. This alif is telling us that this waw is? Yeah, it's not part of the huruf al-asl. Alright? It's not part of the fa'in lam kalima. It's an extra. It comes for plurality. Comes for jama. All right, you one lady, open the door. Iftah. Iftahi, good. So iftahi. You two ladies, open the door. All right, so what we're going to do here, because al-bab, if you connect it, the lam has a sakin on it. And this has a sakin on it too. So when two sakins join up, what do you do to the first letter? What do you give it? A kasra. So it'll become iftahil bab. Alright? Iftahil bab. Over here, because there's an alif here, so iftahil bab. So when we are saying it, this alif won't be pronounced. But we'll be saying it to both of them. But if it's written, the alif will be pronounced. Over here, we're saying it to a lot of men, iftahul bab. So this ha will go straight to the al-bab. Does that make sense? Over here, iftahil bab. So we're talking to a lot of, we're talking to one lady, right? So iftahi. All right, so two ladies, same thing, right? Same as this. And then jama mu'annath. Iftahna. All right. Let's go to mutakallim. All right. So I gave some last week. I gave some words. So let's take out those words and we can give. I made 50 words for you guys, right? So that we can use this. So let's use a word from here. Kasaba yaksibu. Okay, to earn. All right. So, let's do that. That's a good one. All right. So, yaksibu. The ain kalima has a kasra, right?
Yeah.
So, the alif, or the hamza of amr will also have a kasra. So you one man, earn. How would you say it? Kasaba yaksibu. Say it again. Iksib. Good. Okay. And then? All right. And then? All right, let's use another one. Something from Nasara Yansur. All right, kharaja yakhruju, to leave. Kharaja yakhruju. So you one lady leave. How would you say it? Good. So because this ain kalima has a dhamma, so you will bring the dhamma over here also. So it will become ukhruji. Alright, ukhruji. And then over here, ukhruja. And then all you ladies leave. Ukhrujna. Alright. So I think we got the Mudhakkar Hadir and Muannas Hadir down. Let's go to the other one. To the Ghaib. When you have this type of chart, it makes everything very easy. You can remember it easier too. Alright. Nashara yanshuru. Who can tell me what that means? Nashara yanshuru.
To say, to broadcast.
Yawmun nashr. Say that again?
Broadcast, or to say or to broadcast.
No.
Sheer.
That may be in Urdu, but not in.
The
Well-
sheer to broadcast or to
Okay, that's
spread kind of.
spread. Okay, good. Somebody was saying spread. Yes. So to spread. Okay. And broadcast is also spreading the word. That works. All right. So it means to gather. Nashara yanshuru, to gather. On the day of judgment, it's also called Yawmun Nushur because it's the day of gathering. Everybody will be gathered on that day. Everybody, A to Z. All right, you're going to see your great grandson, great granddaughter. You're going to see what you left behind. You're going to see what knowledge you gave. You're going to see what taqwa you gave to your kids. You're going to see it all. So nashara yanshuru. So this is okay. So what would it be? That one man should gather it. That one man should gather. So how are we going to say it? Lam comes like li, and then nash would be noon. Jama. Yeah, good job. So yan. So the ya comes here, and then noon comes, and the sheen. Wow, this is too slippery. Let me write it in brown. Oh, my goodness. There, that's better. Liyanshur. Alright? That one man should spread. Alright. Or should gather. Those two men? Liyan shura. Liyan shuru. I know I'm standing in your way, sorry. I'll get out of your way. Alright. Liyanshuru. Liyanshura, liyanshura, no, liyanshur, liyanshura, liyanshuru. Alright, so it's a ayn kalima dhamma on it. Okay, let's make another word. That one lady should understand. She must understand it. What is to understand? Faham, good. So fahima yafhamu, samia yasma'u. So the ayn kalima has a fatha. So she should understand. She must understand it. Yeah. Li. Good, everybody's saying it now. Li taf. Alright. Oh. Li taf. And then two ladies. Alright, this is easy to write too. Alright, and then li, not taf because this will be here. Li yafham, good. Alright, so it would be like this. Li yafham, li yafhama, li yafhamu, li tafham, li tafhama, li yafhamna, ifham, ifhama, ifhama, ifhamu, ifhami, ifhama, ifhamna, li afham, li nafham. This would be the whole conjugation. But in the books, it's written separate. These aren't not written together because they don't look the same. The mudhakkar hadir and mudhakkar muannas hadir look different. That's why, to make it different, I put a different color for you guys. So now it looks different. All right. There's a ma'ruf and there's a majhul. So let's do some words which we can make majhul. Okay? That one man must get gathered is not a good word. So let's use the word understood because that's kind of easy to do. that one man must understand is ma'ruf. How are we going to say in majhul? What would be the translation? That one man must be understood or must get understood. So this will be li yufham. So this will be passive. That was active, this is passive. Li yufhama. Now, a lot of these words, they don't come in Quran and Hadith, but we should still know if it ever comes somewhere, we will understand how it looks. Li yufhama. All those men must be understood. Li yufhamu. Alright, so that one lady should be understood. Litufham. Alright, so all we did was change the fatha to a dhamma. Those two ladies should be understood. And all those ladies should be understood. Now, one difference is, if I want to make this into majhul, what can I do? So the difference in Amr Ma'ruf and Amr Majhul. Amr Ma'ruf is, we already got it. It's kind of basic. But Amr Majhul, it's going to be just like that. Alright? So you must be understood. First, we're going to say ifham. Understand this. Alright? If we're talking to one man, understand this. Ifhama. You two men understand this. All you men understand this. Ifhamu. And one lady, ifhami. Ifhama, ifhamna. But if we're going to talk to that man and we're going to say, you must be understood. How are we going to say that? You're going to do the same thing you did here. You're going to bring a lam. And litufham. The ta? Okay, so that's a good question. I was about to say that. This is all made from mudari. And if you remember mudari was yafhamu, yafhamani, yafhamuna, tafhamu, tafhamani, yafhamna, tafhamu, tafhamani, tafhamuna, tafhamina, tafhamani, tafhamna, afhamu, nafhamu. So I hope you remember fi'l mudari. So at that time, we had understood that the mudhakkar hadir has a ta, and then, there's 4 letters, atayna, alif, ya, ta, or noon. These are what we add. So, al-fi'l amr is made from mudari. All you did here, it was actually yufhamu. All you did was add the lam, and you made that sakin. All you did here, it was yufhamani. All you did was add the lam, and because you added the lam, the noon over here dropped. So it became li yufhamani. And then this was yufhamuna. All you did was you brought the lam of amr and you dropped the noon, because the lam amr is one of those letters like lam, it drops the noon at the end. So it is the same as mudari, you just have a lam in the beginning. So it's a good question. That's how we got the ta, and that's how we get the ya here, and that's how we get the alif here. So let's go through the whole thing. Litufham, litufhama, and litufhamu, and then litufhami, good. And litufhamu. Alright, so let's do the ending to. I must be understood. One is, I must understand. لِأَفْهَمْ. But I must be understood. لِأُفْهَمْ. Does that make sense? And this comes in the Quran. Hopefully we'll get some examples. Time for some examples. لِأُفْهَمْ. And لِنَفْهَمْ. There. So this is majhul. So Amar has a ma'ruf also, and we understood the meaning when it's in the ma'ruf. And Amar has a majhul also, and we understood how it becomes majhul and the meaning it brings when it's majhul. Okay. How do I say be quiet? If I was talking to one man and I was saying be quiet, how would I say it? The word is sakata yaskutu, to be quiet. Uskut, right? So I would say uskut. What if I was really, really mad at somebody and I say, I'm going to say it, I don't like saying it, I would say, shut up. Ouch, that hurt. Your akhlaq should stop you from, using the tongue that hurts somebody's heart. So, if you want to emphasize it, be quiet. In English, how would we say it? If we want to emphasize it, we'll just raise our voice, right? Be quiet, or we use stronger words. How would you do it in Arabic? Good job, see? Alright, so it really is good when people are understanding, Alright, so you add a noon at the end. So, we learned lam ta'kid and noon ta'kid, remember? So of course, the beginning, you can't put a lam here because it's amr, and amr already has the lam of amr, which is maksur, or has a kasra. But you can still put the ta'kid of noon at the end. So there are two types of ta'kid. One ta'kid is called noon thaqila, and the other is called noon khafifa. Thaqila is the shadda one, the mushaddad one, or the tashaddud one, or the tashdid one, whichever you use. And the khafifa is just the sakin at the end. So we used it if alanna, if alani, if alunna, if alinna. In the lam ta'kid, noon ta'kid, we used it la yaf'alanna, la yaf'alani, la yaf'alunna. And then we used the khafifa, la yaf'alan, la yaf'alun. So in amr also, if you want to emphasize something and say it strongly and command something with some authority, then you're going to put the noon at the end. Alright? So let's use the word taraka yatruku again. So let's do mudhakkar hadir first. You one man leave. Or let's use the one to be quiet. You one man be quiet. So it was actually uskut, right? Uskut. Now we can put a noon thaqila at the end, and we could put a noon khafifa. So right now, let's just learn noon thaqila, the shaddud one. So usku. What am I going to put here? The dhamma will be here. Uskutanna. Alright, so this is in Arabic if you want to say something with emphasis, okay? You must be quiet, And then for two people, uskutani, and then all you men be quiet. Uskutun. Alright, let's use a different word for something with a kasra on it. Alright, how do you say to dismount, to get down, to leave? Kharaja means to go. Say that. Yatruk? To leave. Yatruk is also to leave. But I'm saying, like if you're on a ride, to get down from a ride. To dismount.
Is it Rakada?
No. Rakada is to sleep. But Rakiba maybe you're thinking to actually get on, right? Okay, well I'll say it. Nazala yanzilu. Okay? Nuzul. You know? Alright, so you one lady must dismount or get down or get off the car or whatever. So how will we say it? In with the nun ta'kid. So because the za nazala yanzilu has a kasra, so this will bring a kasra here. And inzilinna. So this is one lady, right? Inzilinna. So it was actually inzili, and without the nun ta'kid it was inzili. So it was inzil, inzila, inzilu, inzili, inzila, inzilna. But now with the nun ta'kid it becomes inzilinna. So let's go through it. Inzilani and inzilnani. Remember this one? Inzilani. Let's use a different one for. Okay, let's go to Mudhakkar Ghaib. Now, remember Mudhakkar Ghaib and Muannaf Ghaib and Mutakallim will have a lam in the beginning. So, if I was to say, you one man must wash your hands. Alright? Or not you one man. That one man. That one man must wash his hands. So how are we going to say that? Or does anybody know for washing? What's the word? Ghasal. Ghasala yaghsilu. Ghasala yaghsilu. So that one man. So we're going to bring first of all the what of Amr? Lam of Amr. And then Yagh. And with the noon, right? Liyagh. And this, because Ghasala yaghsilu, so it becomes a kasra. Liyaghsilanna. Liyaghsilani. Liyaghsilunna. Litaghsilanna. 7 minutes. Oh, then. Alright, so who can tell me what's here? Liyagh. Good. Liyaghsilnan. Yaghsilnan. Liyaghsilnan. Alright, over here, let's go with the Ghasala yaghsilu. This is a good word to know, to wash. Let's keep going with it. So what will come here for Nun Thaqila? Amr, Hadir, Thaqila. You must wash your hand. Alright, and what if it was just one noon?
Light.
Yeah, whatever was the lighter form?
Excellent.
Ipsilon. Ipsilon. It's not used much, but still we should know it. It's used in ash'ar a lot. It's used in poetry. And when we were studying, we had to go through many books of poetry, because that's when your Arabic becomes really, really good and refined. So you will see these words in poetry a lot. So iksilanna and then iksilan. Alright? And then iksilani. Alright? So this is thaqila iksilanna. This is thaqila iksilani. To do khafifa iksilan. And how would you do khafifa for this one?
No.
Excellent. How would you do khafifa for this one?
No.
So 2 people get it. Alright, that was a trick question. There is no khafifa for all the tasniyas, right? And the 2 jama mu'annaf, there's no khafifa. So you would only have this one. ليغسلن ليغسلن لتغسلن 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 لأغسلن لنغسلن. That would be the 8. Alright, so let's do this. Iksilunna. And then this one, iksilinna. So for the, it was actually iksili. So you kept the kasra, so you know that you're talking to one feminine father. Iksilani. And then iksillan. I should definitely wash my hands. لأغسلن يدي. My hands. يدي. So lam comes. لأغسلن. We should all definitely wash our hands. Alright. So bonus points. Who can say this? The whole sentence. We should definitely wash our hands. The whole sentence. Li? Yada. So that's where I want to see if you can figure out what word to use for our hands.
Idea.
Close. Very close. Huh? All I heard was continue. Yadain? No, our hands. Yadain means 2 hands.
Nothing.
Huh? Nadain? No. This is a noun. You can't put a ya on a noun. Linagsilanna. Okay, I'm going to say it. Nobody got it. Anybody? Last chance. I'm going to give you tea then. It's already there. All right. Linagsilanna aydina. Aydina. Linagsilanna aydina. So you have to put the na, our hands. So it's a dhamir, you know. We learned that inshallah. So here it is. Linag. Some were really close, so good. Alhamdulillah. But I win. Okay, so we got a few minutes. I'm going to get some examples from the Quran about, last time we got the examples of Mudhakkar Hadir, or the Hadir, So let's get some examples when it's Ghaib. This is for you to do at home. These are the worksheets. So please do them at home and it will make more sense. The first one's done for you, so it will become easier when we actually write it ourselves. All right. واذكروا الله كثيرا لعلكم تفلحون. Pretty easy sentence. So this is Surah Anfal, 8th Surah of the Quran. 8th Surah of the Quran, Suratul Anfal, and the 45th ayah. يا أيها الذين آمنوا إذا لقيتم فئة فاثبتوا واذكروا الله كثيرا لعلكم تفلحون. O you who believe, when you meet an enemy force, take a firm stand against them and remember the name of Allah much, both with tongue and mind, so that you may be successful. So remember the name of Allah. All of you, remember the name of Allah. So this is going to be right over here, right? So how will we do it? Now remember I told you when the waw comes before the amr, the alif drops. So what is the word? All of you remember. Anybody? It's already written there. So say it again. Okay, so the ain kalima has a dhamma. Pull the dhamma out. Udhkuru. Good. There we go. So udhkuru. Alright. Now the waw came, so the alif dropped. Wadhkuru. Because remember, it was actually like this. And we brought the alif because it can't start with the second. But now you have a word, you have a letter waw with a fatha on it. So we'll go back to that. Udhkuru. Wadhkuru, and remember the name of Allah. Okay, so that was one example of Hadir. And now let's get some. Okay, Suratul Hajj is 22nd surah and the 29th ayah. 22nd surah, Suratul Hajj, and the 29th ayah. ثم ليقضوا تفثهم وليوفوا نذورهم وليطوفوا بالبيت العتيق. And then let them complete their prescribed duties. So they must complete their prescribed duties, وَلْيُوفُوا نُذُورَهُمْ, and perform their vows. So they must perform their vows. So these are examples of Amr Ghaib. So it comes over here. لِيَفْعَلُوا. Okay? So it says ثُمَّ الْيَقْضُ. The lam became sakin because of the meme before it. Otherwise, if that thumma wasn't there, it would be liyaqdu. Alright? And wal yufu, the second word, the second amr in that sentence, it would have been wa liyufu. And wal yattawafu, it was actually liyattawafu, to go around the Kaaba. So this is an example of amr ghaib in the Quran. Last example, one more example, Suratul Tawbah, the 9th surah of the Quran, and 82nd ayah. 9th surah of the Quran is Suratul Tawbah and the 82nd ayah. Alright, 9th surah, 82nd ayah. فَلْيَضْحَكُوا قَلِيلًا وَلْيَبْكُوا كَثِيرًا جَزَاءً بِمَا كَانُوا يَكْسِبُونَ. Alright, so let them laugh a little and cry much as a recompense of what they used to earn by committing sins. Alright, so in the hereafter they're going to be not laughing like they're laughing now, and they're going to be crying. So Allah is saying, فَلْيَضْحَكُوا. So let's do this. Let's understand this word. Alright. ضَحِكَ يَضْحَكُ means to laugh, right? So, how would I say all those men should laugh? They must laugh. So you put a lam first, and then ya, yad, haku. Liyadhaku. All those men must laugh. Yadhakuna was they're laughing. They're going to laugh to make it get out of the way. To make it amr, you bring a lam and the noon drops at the end, so it becomes liyadhaku. Allah is saying liyadhaku qalila. They should laugh little. They must laugh little. So let them laugh a little and cry much. Now the same thing happened here. Fa came in the beginning, so this became sakin because of the fa. So because of the fa, it came here, so it became like this, fal. Otherwise, if this fa wasn't there, there would be a kasra on the lam. I hope that makes sense. Alright, so these were two examples of amr with a amr in the ghaib, mudhakkar ghaib. Alright, sometimes when we're making dua, we're using amr. Can anybody give me an example of when we say a dua and we use amr? The word is, we're insisting on Allah, not demanding or commanding, but we're insisting Allah to give us, or we're pleading to Allah to give us. So, Rabbi, oh Allah forgive me. How would you say that? Oh Allah forgive me. Yeah, Rabbighfirli. So let's open that word up a little bit. So ghafara yaghfiru means to forgive, right? Ghafara yaghfiru. So mudhakkar hadir of of mudari would be like this. Taghfiruna, right? Taghfiruna. You are forgiving, or you're going to forgive. Now to make amr, what would we do? We drop the ta. Oh wait, it wouldn't be like this. It would be taghfiru.
Yeah.
Just taghfiru, right? So taghfiru is you, one man, are forgiving or are going to forgive. So how would we make it into amr? First we drop the ta. So it becomes like this, or let's make it like this. And then we look at the ain kalima, it has a kasra, so we bring an alif, and we bring a kasra, and we drop the dhamma on the ra, and it becomes ighfir. So we're asking Allah, oh Allah, forgive. And how do you say me in Arabic? You say ighfirli. Alright? So ighfirli. If you want to say forgive him, then you would say ighfirhu. If you want to say forgive her, then you would say ighfirha. Or actually it would be ighfir laha. That would be better Arabic. Ighfir laha. Ighfir lahu, oh Allah forgive him. Ighfir laha, oh Allah forgive her. Ighfir li, oh Allah forgive me. Okay? Alright, so ighfir. Now we understand where this came. Now, Rabbighfir, because there's a Rab and the Ba has a kasra, so this drops. Even though it'll be written there, but this will be like this. Rabbigh. So the Ba will go straight to the Ghain. Rabbighfirli. It will still be written there because we know it's Amr. So Rabbighfirli waliwalidayya waliman dakhala bayti mu'mina walilmu'minina walmu'minat wala tazid adh-dhalimina illa tabara. This is Surah An-Nur, 71 surah of the Quran. Allah saying in the Quran, فَاصْبِرُوا أَوْ لَا تَصْبِرُوا سَوَاءٌ عَلَيْكُمْ. have patience or don't have patience. So the word is isbir. Isbir means to have patience. Like, if somebody is doing something and you want to tell them, have some patience. Well, how will you say it? Isbir, isbir. Calm down. Take it easy. Isbir. Or if it's a lady, isbiri, isbiri. So, Allah is saying, fasbiru. So the fa came, so the alif dropped. Fasbiru aw la tasbiru saba'un alaykum. Suratul Tur, ayah number 16. Alright. I think that should do it. There are more examples, but we've gone over 9, so inshallah we'll end it here. The next lesson will be nahi, which means prohibition. So this was amr, commanding something. Nahi means to prohibit something. So it's just like this, so it'll be pretty easy. Next week's lesson should not take the whole hour, but inshallah we'll see how long it takes. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for us. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi, subhanakallah wa bihamdihi, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk, rabbighfir warham wa anta khairul